what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with Silo Season 2, the finale,
Mm.
episode number 10, Into the Fire. IMDb gave this finally a 9. We're out of the 8s and the 7s.
It should still be a 10. We just could call it.
How can you...
We can do our rating right now, 10.
Right.
10.
Forget about it. How can you not give this a 10?
I don't know.
mean, come
Don't make
on.
no sense.
No,
I'm saying, like, we talked about this offline. They did such an amazing job with this episode. They had like 10 minutes to spare talking about the senator or the congressperson in Atlanta in the past. They're like, we have so much time left over because we killed this thing. Here's the little preview of a prequel. Enjoy.
Dude.
Set you up for the future. Enjoy.
Oh my goodness,
That's it.
man.
That's how good a job they did with this show. They're like, here's this other thing. Go ahead.
I mean, like the way, they had all of these different scenes, all of these different storylines. And guess who directed this episode? Amber Templemore. Wow. Okay, so she did like 10, 9, 8. I think she did the last 4 episodes, maybe even the last 5 episodes. So
she killed it.
I
was on the edge of my seat. And I know some of the stuff that was going to happen. I was still on the edge of my seat, like, go, this is crazy.
I watched it last night, straight up in the dark, had everything popping, had my cognac, everything. Then this morning, like when it was still dark outside, I watched it again, and I'm just like, dude, let's get into, first and foremost, Knox, Shirley, Walk, the whole rebellion, the rebels.
That was clever. Because, you talked about this before, and you were like, yo, Walk is not a traitor. Dude, Knox was in on it the whole time. And he did like, when she sat down in Bernard's office, is like, I'm going to tell you a little story. I was like, oh,
Bernard
here we go.
Like,
here we go. And she was like, those silos pretty loud, working the engine room. And he's like, Bernard's like, yeah, that's right. He's like, we have a little top secret code that we send to each other. We do a whole sign language, just talking about stuff. And she's like, that's what we did. You see Bernard lean up in his chair like, oh, go on. What's happening?
He was like,
and he showed that little thing. She was like, she put her head down. She was like, stop. Stop right there. They're watching us up here. They're listening to us.
Yep.
And you can see him go like, all right, I got you. All right. They planned this out. That whole thing of sending all the raiders down there, that was genius. All that was genius.
Oh.
And blowing up the floor was crazy.
Yep.
Between those 2 floors. That is crazy.
It's like
here's the thing.
You can't get down anymore.
I don't know if they can fix the floor so it's usable like that. I think the silo is kind of wrecked right now.
Well,
think about it. They have to have they have to have cement and steel and everything to fix the floor. Do they have leftover cement somewhere that we don't know about?
Like, that's what I was saying. It's just like, so where are the cranes? You need cranes to do this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Like a lot of work.
You need scaffolding and all that other stuff, right? And if you look at Silo 17, it's sort of destroyed in the same way. Like, stuff was, floors were completely, exactly. Yeah. So I'm just like,
it cannot be. We're thinking about like for us in 2025, fixing a floor like that is a hassle. Now imagine you have to do everything by hand.
Yeah.
You don't have proper tools, because you got to carry this stuff up 100 flights of stairs. Like, that's a whole other beast right there.
Because you don't have an elevator.
Maybe years to fix this. At best, years to fix this.
Wow, man.
They could probably throw like a ladder down there and they maybe do something, but like, it's 2 floors. Yeah. So you got to do one ladder to one floor and another ladder to the other floor underneath that. That's crazy. Well, that's absolute crazy.
It's going to be pretty interesting to see, like in season 3, if they are able to rebuild, floors 90 through 92, which is completely crazy. The other really interesting thing is like, so when they basically said, when this happened, I was like, oh, it is over. When Bernard said, when he was talking to Amoson and whatever this guy's name is, the raider, the guy who's in charge of the raiders, he's like, how many raiders do you want me to send down? He was like, everyone. When he said that, I was like, oh, this is a straight setup. I was like, this is a setup. And
yeah, I was like, it's not good. It's not good.
like Bernard is just like, okay, dude, you know what? They have gunpowder. You let that slip. You didn't remember that, right? They have gunpowder. And, they were like, hey, we're going to blow up the generator, which would basically destroy the entire, silo. But to say that and for Bernard to see it and hear it, he was like, I got you, and it was just like, no, dude, we got a whole different plan. And I was like, wow, that is completely crazy.
You know what's interesting, though? Because all of this stuff is going on at the same time. So Lucas is down under the tunnel and finds about the safe thing that they're going to destroy the whole silo.
Right, exactly.
He just discovered that. So this is going on all at the same time. So, Bernard's looking at his key like, all right, the key didn't go off. I think I'm on the right track here because he knows about the AI. He knows the other silos are watching them. So he knows all this stuff, and he's thinking, all right, well, these guys must be pleased with me because this thing didn't go off. The silo is in worse shape than ever before.
Yeah.
And I knew the second Juliet walked, because they stopped fighting. The second they saw her walk over the cliff, she was like, uh-oh.
It was over.
What the hell's going on over here? Like,
I thought she was going to, when she was standing up on the cliff, I was like, I thought she was going to come down doing a two-step, like, I was like, oh, look at Juliet. She's down here, like, getting down. But you know what? It was so weird that... they were like, oh, so Jimmy was like, Jimmy, which is Solo, sent her out with the crowbar, right? To open up the silo doors. That's like, magnetically sealed. I was like, you would have had a better chance opening the silo doors with a toothpick. Like, come on.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, come on, dude.
Which is why she had to go to the front first and say, do not go outside.
Right.
With that sign. That was brilliant on that part. She was like, okay, this outside's dangerous. Well, it's not technically dangerous. She could have walked outside without anything. It would have been fine. There's dangerous things outside, all right? And I don't think those dangerous things are hovering indefinitely. I think they're released by the silo. That's what I think is going on.
So check this out, right? So when Jimmy said, his parents, they figured out a way to, stop the safeguard procedure, which is basically poisonous gas coming through this pipe and like killing everyone in the silo. This is the safeguard procedure. I was thinking maybe you thought it was memory. I was thinking like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But the safeguard procedure is to kill the entire silo, right? So,
and I believe that's the thing that is released outside when a person goes outside.
Right.
I think they release it right at the door.
Right.
They get a heavy dose of it because they don't have the tape. And then they just basically, I think that if you got outside and got far enough from that silo, you'd be good to go.
Yeah.
But there's nothing outside because I'll destroy it around the city. So it'd be kind of pointless, but you'd be good. You'd be safe.
So check this out. Okay. So you go outside, right? You're going to clean. You clean, you walk up the hill, you fall out, you're done, right? Here's the thing. It's not the silo you are cleaning from that's releasing the gas. It's the head of the silos. Because
that's possible too.
They see everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's possible too. Maybe they're doing it. But somebody's doing it. Somebody's releasing something. Remember, I cut that spoiler part out. But somebody's releasing something out. And it's killing the people.
Yeah.
But I don't think outside is that dangerous that they couldn't go outside. But it would be like Fallout. Like, is it worth it to go outside? Is it better off staying inside the silo?
Fallout. I'm staying inside, dude. I'm staying inside with Fallout. You know what I'm saying?
Because outside's probably got insane mutant dogs or whatever. Like something crazy's out there.
It's like it's the Walking Dead and like Fallout is basically like that.
Yeah, basically. That's a possibility for sure.
She was basically saying, do not come outside. That was the sign she held up. When she walked over the hill, she first of all, she cleaned so everyone, the common people can see. Then she went over to the other, she went over to the other door. And so she knew that Bernard would be looking out that joint. And she was like, do not come outside. It's not safe, yada, yada, yada. So Bernard put on the suit. I knew when he went and got the bag, I was like, oh, he got his suit.
That's the suit, man.
He got his suit. I was like, he got the suit. He's got the tape, the whole nine. Bernard is like, so it sounded like what he was thinking about was just going outside to see how everything is and then offing himself.
No, I think he was gonna off himself. That was the whole point. That's why he got the gun, and he's just like, I think he figures people die horrific deaths, and so he's like, well, when it gets to that point, I'll just
Just
off
off
myself
myself.
and be
Yeah.
done with it. But he was like, he was done with the silo.
Yeah.
Once he found out what Lucas told him, he's like, oh, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered anymore.
And the thing that Lucas told him, which we did not hear, but we can, assume, what do you think Lucas told him?
I think he told him that the other silos watching us.
They can hear
the
us.
AI or the other silos, they're watching us. And if we mess up, they're going to kill us all. And so we're not really in charge of our fate like we think we are. That's a factor. Because, like Bernard knows everything else, right? But I don't think he knew about the safeguard, what the safeguard was. Because he never got down there before. And he knows some parts of stuff. He don't know about the safeguard. So the safeguard, knowing that this thing is in the silo to kill everybody, that he's like, well, this is not worth it then. What am I fighting these guys for?
Yeah.
If I mess up or I do something, I don't stop these guys to these guys' satisfaction and just like, you know what? Blank this silo. We're gonna start over.
Right.
Like, that's crazy because he's a true believer too. So
yeah. First of all, he was so into it was the pack. It was just like, this is how things, this is the law, right? Because he did not know everything, right? We're assuming that there are 50 silos, right? So there could be additional silos that are all dead.
Yes, that I was just thinking about that. There are probably other silos that failed too. So, we could probably be down to 40 silos, 45 silos that are still working, functioning.
Wow.
And a couple of them died. So they're like, we're done with this.
So basically, the safeguard procedure is activated when, I guess, those who are in control of all the silos figure out that the citizens of a specific silo are demanding the truth, and we can't tell them the truth. So let's just kill our own citizens. It's so weird.
Yeah, basically.
It's almost like an experiment.
Because you got to think about it like this. This is a science experiment to the senator guy.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Like,
right.
It's basically what's an ant farm? He's got it over his desk. He's spraying stuff in there. That's basically what the ant farm is.
Wow.
This thing's the ant farm.
And I think like Bernard, again, he was like walking around like for like 2 seasons, like I'm this, that, and the other. It's all about the pack. This is how the silo is, yada, yada, yada.
Got the pack memorized like a Bible, man.
Right. And come to find out that the pack you are upon, just like all the other citizens,
you don't matter.
Deep down, you mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah, for Bernard, I think he thought he was really in charge. Like, he knows there's other silo, he's got to talk to people, but like he thought he's really in charge of this one. Right. And he's not in charge.
Yeah. And the other thing is like with the 18, with the silo 18 ring, the little necklace he had.
Yeah, because that thing, once it goes off, you got to go in the server room and talk to him.
Exactly. And it's just like, Bernard is like, oh, it's not going off. Everything is good. Let me go have me a drink. It's like, nah, dude, they about to like kill you behind. You know what I'm saying? For real. Let me ask you this here, right? What did the AI tell Lucas about shadows and why Meadows quit and why Lucas also quit? What do you think happened? I don't know what happened.
I don't think the AI told Lucas everything about why these guys quit. But I think once you learn this information that you're a science experiment, it kind of affects how you view life at that point. Yeah. You're doing all this stuff because we got to save the people in the silo. It's the whole thing. We're all that's left. We got to make this thing work. And then once you find out, you're like, oh, snap. Like, we don't matter. There's other people here. These guys they can say, yeah, you guys are gone no matter what. It doesn't matter what we do. Like, that's crazy. That you know what I'm saying? Like, that's enough to make somebody be like, I'm done. I don't care anymore.
You know what? And I can see that's probably what drove the judge to drinking too, huh? She was just like, yo, what are we doing here?
She was like, what am I doing this for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you out here like, I gotta save the silo. I gotta follow the pack. She's like, what am I doing this for?
And the other thing is, and again, all this is really interesting, but like, why remove like what do they call them, artifacts or something like that? Why take away all that stuff from people? Like, why can't, like, the other thing is this, right? Here's the weird thing. People in the silo cannot read books.
Well, I think that you could read the pack book. because that was the thing that guy did. He's like, we got to get rid of artifacts, because before that, every 20 years they were having some kind of rebellion, and everyone's trying to get out because they know what's going on outside. You're like, maybe it's safe now. Maybe it's safe now. Like, you're dealing with that every 20 years.
Right.
So they're like, the more you feel good about outside, or like you look inside the pictures and the books, like, I want to go do that, the more likely you want to get out. So if you think, look at this barren wasteland, everything's awful, this is where all that's left, that mentality makes you defend the silo even more. Like, they'll do the work for you.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the factor, is that if you know about outside, you'll eventually want to go. You're like, screw this place, I'll go outside. But she don't know this thing's rigged against you. Every time you go outside, you're done for. Like,
when Knox and the rebellion, the rebels, when they set up like Bernard and like the Raiders, they brought him down to like, the generator level. And then once they were released, they were like, okay, they took the blanket off, they got all the pipes and everything. Did you see that? Like, did you see that sledgehammer that Knox picked up, dude?
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw that joint, I thought of two things, like Lord of the Rings or the Flintstones, right? I was just like,
that's a Flintstones hammer right there.
Wham! I was like, 100%. Holy crap, dude!
That's
right?
a Flintstones hammer.
But dude, the setup was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was just like, you know what? Because Knox, he completely knew. And the other thing is this, Walk was like you said, she was like, no, stop. They're looking, they're watching, right?
Yeah, he's watching.
And then they came in with like the dummy plan, and then they had a real plan, and I was just like, wow. And again, when Bernard said, send all the Raiders down to the generator level.
Whenever you do the send everybody, you know you're about to lose, man. You're done for. You ain't gonna make it.
So they brought him down. It was a whole setup. It was like, yo, bring him down. You can't get back up because we blew up 2 floors. So now you're stuck down here, right? And it's just like, I was like, the setup, dude. And then
that was good. It was so good.
And it was just like, whoa. I was like, wow. And it was kind of weird because when they arrested them, it was a setup. When they arrested them, then they brought them to Carla's cell. And once they exposed Walk as a person who was helping the silo, Carl was like, get the F away from me. She was like, get the F away from me. And I was just like, ain't nothing popping off tonight, dude.
She's the only person that didn't know, though, because he couldn't get to her to tell her. She's the only person. She thought, oh no, my wife's a sellout.
She said to Walk, she said, I knew. She said, Walk said you didn't know. And she said, I knew deep down inside. And Walk was like, the hell you didn't. I was like, okay.
I know you did. You're like, I hate her so much.
Yo, dude, when it's not funny, but but like when the rebels were like, yo, we gotta like bust down these barricades. Yo, how they like put that barrel together and then they swung it around and it came back on old boy.
That was funny, man. I laughed, right? I know it's terrible. I laughed.
He's gotta be dead. He's gotta be dead, right?
Yo, he's done for. He's got a slight head injury, right?
So when I saw that, I was like, wow, like throughout the entire 2 seasons of Silo, right? That to me seems like the most violent thing I saw in Silo. Right there.
Yeah, because it's a cerebral show. Like, they're not really focusing on shooting and fighting.
Right. And they didn't show like his head exploding or anything like that. Oh, boy got a pretty bad headache. He's got a headache.
He's got a very bad headache.
He's got a headache. You know what I'm saying?
CTE right now, man. He can't play football no more.
You're like,
he is drooling from here on out. That dude's done for.
I was, I was saying offline, I was like, okay, do you think, oh boy, we got to find out about his healthcare situation here, right? His health insurance. Do you think he has a PPO or an HMO? Because if he has an HMO, he's screwed. He's got to go to his primary care specialist to get like a recommendation to go someplace else. By that time, his headache is going to get even more intense. Like you said, he has CTE, concussion protocol, the whole 9. You think he's dead or alive? You think he's alive?
No, he ain't make it. If he survives somehow, he's drooling and he don't have enough coconuts to trade to go get this thing again. He don't have enough.
Yo, listen.
That's it right there. He don't have enough.
It's done, man. But Joe, the doctor went out hardcore, didn't he?
He was like, "Yo, give this to my daughter." Yo, he gave it the watch. That was crazy.
Oh, boy was like, "I'll do it." He was like hell, you absolutely not. And I was just, and the boy was like, "Okay, I'm leaving." You know, it's just like, "Oh, you."
Yeah, he's like, "Peace out, bro."
Right, exactly.
Peace out, bro.
Yeah, the doctor went out. I was thinking that now 2 floors is a lot, but I was thinking that explosion would have done like 5, 6, 10 floors or something like that.
Well, because it's right on the stairs. Mm-hmm. So I think if it was like near a pole or something like that, maybe. Yeah. But it's like on the stairs. So I think it just hit, like it went up and down and it knocked everything. I think it messed up the first stairs. The other stairs fell on top of it and that made the other stairs fall. Yeah, that was probably a wrap after that. Yeah. The floors look wrecked.
I mean, it was just like. It was just, it looked like when that explosion happened and when they showed it, it looked like Silo 17.
Yeah, it looked wrecked. So I'm very interested to see how they adjust to that. Because you got to get back up those floors. There's a lot of people upstairs that don't need to be upstairs. There's a lot of people downstairs that don't need to be downstairs. They got to switch. Yeah. So they got to figure this out, man. But I do know the fighting's basically over because Juliet came back. That's it. It's over. Yeah. You're done. The whole thing's over.
Okay, so we both thought that she would be back 1 or 2 episodes. Once she left, they came back the last episode.
I thought she could go back earlier, but like,
you know,
Mm-hmm.
Bernard did let her in, like you said. Like he's got to let her in.
You gotta let her in, man.
But you know what? But check it out. I think he let her in this time because he knows so much about what the silo isn't.
Yeah, he knows more. Well, he let her in on his way out. That's what happened. He was about to go outside. The timing was messed up. He was basically about to go outside.
You know, so. I thought this when I saw him. Like when he had the bag, right? When he grabbed the bag, I was like, oh, you know, because when I see stuff like that, I try to set it up. I'm like, oh, this is what's going to happen. He's going to go out. He's going to put on the suit. He's going to go out. He's going to be walking. And then him and Juliet are going to bump into each other, right? Outside.
You think you're walking in and out?
You know, and it's just like, hey, you know, they're going to bump into each other. And like I said, we do not know what's outside the silo. It can be restaurants. It could be a town center. It could be a mall. We don't know. Right?
Fair enough.
So imagine if they linked up and they were like, and Bernard was like, come with me. I have a little place I like to go. You know, maybe like all the heads of the silos, when everyone is asleep, they go out and they go to these like different places where they can drink and do everything else. The other thing is, where are they getting this alcohol from? Where are they getting that from?
Well, I think it's like the bootleg, whatever. They got some potatoes, because that's how you make vodka, right? It's potatoes or something like that.
You can do it with
they're
corn
doing something
too.
like that, fermenting potatoes.
Yeah,
and they're making their strong stuff from out of that, and put it back in bottles. Like,
let me ask you this here: the safeguard procedure, right? Is that to release gases from the outside into a silo and release gases from a silo to the outside?
Well, I think because they're saying that the pipes are inside the silo at 14.
Right.
And I think there's also pipes at the door. So I think this is my personal theory, right? I don't know anything. It's not from the books or anything like this. This is my personal theory. I believe that they have the pipes inside the silo to destroy the silo, and they hit the person who's going out to clean with whatever that toxins is or whatever that thing is. When on their way outside,
just a little woof,
they get hit with that. Yeah, and it's like, and they just die because they don't have good tape and they don't make it outside. It's a wrap. Basically, that's what I think it is.
And then your boy Billings was like, hey, Bernard, please tell us the truth. Like, Bernard is in there like, dude, no way, you know. And Audrey, I think her name is Audrey, the little pushy girl from Silo 17 who was calling the other girl an eater, right?
She annoys me. I don't care what happens to them, man.
Juliet
That guy,
she's
she's
off on
stuck
her. Juliet went off on her, dude. Put her right in her
she
place.
screamed
Like,
on
are you
her.
stupid? You're like 12 years old calling this other 12-year-old. I'm like, who are you? You know, like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was just thinking, I was like, wow, you know what? It's probably good that happened in a silo.
Yeah, before she left, she's like, "Let me sit you down."
Right, exactly.
Dumb chick, like,
right,
yeah.
because if some stuff like that happened on a block, you know what would happen.
Yeah, someone would take the first thing is gonna take your earrings off,
right?
And then you're gonna go start clapping people.
Like, oh, why you being a bully to my friend over here? You know, just being a straight bully. Like, it's just like, wow, this is like, it's only 4 of you people, 5 of you in the silo. You know, now they have access to the vault. They have ice cream.
Yeah,
I don't know what that.
now.
I don't know what that candy they were eating that they, you know, they were just like, oh, what's this here? It looked like gummy bears, you know, and I was just like, okay, so they.
But I believe it's peanuts or something. But like, here's the thing: you guys got food now. The water's not rising anymore. You're basically solved.
Yeah,
you're good to go.
Yep.
Stop crying, man. Stop your crying.
I mean, think about it. Like, Solo or Jimmy, he had food in the vault for like what, 30 years?
Yeah, and he's not worried about running out. That's the crazy part. How much food is in the vault?
Do you think
it's gotta be an insane amount?
But do you think that there's some way that food can be?
You think like a replicator, like Star Trek?
Like,
I thought about that.
Food can be sent to the vault.
I think the vault is stacked to the rooftop with food, and for one person, if you don't, you're not gorging out, like you could probably make that last for a long time.
Yeah,
because you got the emergency rations, like the army stuff,
like the pack.
You could put packs of food in there for decades.
Yeah,
on your own if you just eat one thing a day or whatever. There has to be a giant warehouse full of food in there because that the vault is the emergency place because everybody else is making their food out of the soil and they got a couple cows, you got some goats, and that's it. That's all the food you got.
Yeah,
you get milk from there. You got because where they got apples or that's a giant area where they're growing vegetables and fruits. That's giant. The area is huge.
I mean,
so
I think it's one floor. Yeah,
prepackaged food, like the vault on that vault level. It's got to be just as big.
Okay, like you're gonna get the pre-packed. You're gonna get the pre-packed food. So I have to ask you the $1 million question: do you want your rat poison on or on the side? We need to know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. On the side.
On the side. Okay. Let me ask you this before we get up out of here. Are there some things, some burning questions about season 2 that you just really want to know, but we don't know yet?
That's a good question. Because we understand what happened to Silo 17. We know about that. We have a better I want to know what the AI told Lucas, and I want to know what Lucas told Bernard. I think those are my biggest questions. Everything else is pressing, but it's not the end of the world if I don't know. But those two things I want to know because Bernard was on a warpath. Whatever Lucas told him, Bernard was like, "I give up." That's the end of that. He's like, "I give up."
I mean, you
want to be in charge of IT? Good luck. He's like, whatever. I don't care.
Hey, Sims, you want to be Shadow? Here you go. Good luck.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. Like, he's like, I don't even care anymore. What did he tell him that he's like, I give up? Because whatever that was, it was interesting.
You know, that's my burning question as well. It's like, what did the AI tell Lucas when he was at the vault, at that huge door, right?
Yeah, because I don't think it was the one thing and he just left. I think he sat there for a minute.
Exactly. And then what did he tell Bernard? That's what I want to know. And we're going to find out. We'll find out, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope they don't keep it secret forever because I haven't read the books yet. I just know some stuff about the books.
And so we also know that, coming with season 3 is it's going to be basically Juliet saving the silo, right?
Yeah, she got to find out whatever those pipes are. 14, she got to get to it. And be subtle about it.
Right. And also know that, and I didn't know this until this episode, the other silo or the big boy silo, they're not only listening, they're not only watching, they're listening. They're
They see
listening to
everything.
everything.
I'm pretty sure they're getting updates from the AI, from the
Wow.
cameras, whatever. Like the updates giving like, this the report for Silo 18. They're fighting again. Like it's like they getting the update about everything over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's the question, right? Because I don't know if all the silos are together in Georgia or some of them are somewhere else. Because
Ooh.
I think there's other silos somewhere else
In other
inside the
countries and
country.
states and everything. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. In other states, I think there's other silos.
Right.
I don't think all 50 are in the same place because that would be
Right.
giant. Because
Yeah.
the silos are big as they are right now. That's a giant place in Georgia. Because you're not that far from Atlanta. You can see Atlanta from the thing.
Yeah.
So so you're not that far. Where'd you build all this stuff from? Because this is in the future. Atlanta will be full right now. So I mean, where'd
Freak
you
nigga
build
be
this thing?
popping
You
off
can't build all
everything.
50 there.
Yeah.
It's
So
great.
we are talking about Silo, the season 2 finale, episode 10, Into the Fire. Keo, what are you going to rate the episode and the entire season 2?
I really, really like this show from before, but I'm a huge fan of this show now. So like 10 for the season and 10 for the show. I can't believe I gave the show a lower rating before this.
Mm-hmm.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Like that is absolutely absurd. This show, when you talk about sticking the landing, this show did a somersault and flipped over, and it was like, and I'm done. Oh yeah, here's a little bit extra just in case. Like yo, that's phenomenal for me on my part for sci-fi. The elements of sci-fi is amazing because it's in the future. It's way up in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all the elements from the show, like the dialogue was on point. The action that you didn't need a bunch of shootouts or whatever. Like the little action that's there is great. The suspense, the interest of what's going on because the topic is fascinating. And you know what's crazy? You know we've had Fallout, and there's a couple other shows that are like they doing something similar to this, and Walking Dead. Like they all got similar aspects of this. This show has knocked all aspects out on top. You know, suspense is great, acting is great, dialogue is great, plot's great. Like the people that you care about, like side characters I care about. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the dude that got shot that was going out, we're gonna do a rebellion right now.
Right,
Until
that
he
guy.
lives. Like I care about that guy. Like
right.
you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's how good the show is.
Yeah.
So that's a 10 right now. 10, and season 3 is gonna be a 10 too. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah. I'm giving not only the season 2 and also episode 10 a 10 because I don't know what else to say. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, and there were like I think the first 2 or 3 episodes I gave like a 9.5. That's all changed. Yeah, that's all changed. All 10 episodes were 10.
We're going back and this is 10.
Exactly. And you actually turned me on to like the Russo brothers work, right? And I was like, oh wow, they're really interesting, right? So I actually, you know, when we were watching Picard, and I was like looking at some of the directors of some of these episodes, and I'm like, oh, that director did this episode. That's really dope, right? I realized that with this season 2 with Silo, Amber Templemore, man, her episodes were out the park. She did this episode. She did number 9. She did number 10. She did number 8.
She's cooking. She
is cooking. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, so I'm quite sure they were like, yo, we got to bring this person back on. Man, she killed it. She hit it out the park. I am interested in her. I want to know what other sort of work she has done. I want to follow her. I want to see what's going on. This show, I think we were saying this offline, and I was asking you, like, are there any other sci-fi TV series, be it on regular TV or streaming, right, that you have seen that is like a complete 10 all the way around?
I would say The Expanse is probably like recent shows. The Expanse is the closest. But I like season 1. It was good, but it wasn't spectacular. Like the other seasons from like 2 on is spectacular.
Yeah.
But like season 1 was good, and I was like, okay, I'm interested. And like after that, I was like, oh, this show's great. But like I would think Expanse is probably the closest for me of like a show that I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good stuff here.
Yeah, The Expanse, obviously Foundation, both seasons are dope. The third season, the third and final season of Picard was pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Right? So I was just like, wow, but I'm going to say this, and I'm talking about shows I've watched throughout, just me watching stuff like over the years, right? This is the best sci-fi show I've watched. This is the best. It's the best. It's better than The Expanse. Good. It's is it better than Foundation? I'm gonna say yes, because I didn't give 10s all the way around to Foundation, even though we gave it some 9.5, some 10s. We were never on an 8. We never did an 8 on Foundation. So it's just like wow. So this show for me, thus far, is the best sci-fi show that I've seen. I'm gonna say in the last 10 years. Best sci-fi show.
Yeah. Recent for sure. This is one of the best shows I've seen recently for sci-fi, easily.
Wow, man. Easily. Very, very interesting show. I cannot wait for season 3.
Yes. I hope they hurry up the season, because I know Rebecca Ferguson's busy right now. So I don't know. I hope she's got time to go.
She's not coming back to Tom Cruise film Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. That's
she got off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's off.
But she can do her own project. She's a huge fan, a big star right now. So
for real, man.
I don't think she better focus on her show. That's what I know.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.